What's up, everyone? This is Dr. Tay from Quant. Welcome back to our journey into quant trading. In the last episode, you remember we took a massive first step. We set up our coding environment in Google Colab and wrote our first lines of Python. So cool, Python to download real historical stock data for Apple. Apple Computer used to be called Apple Computer. Now it's a Apple. We now have that data sitting in a pandas data frame called AAPL underbar DF. You remember? So we have the data right now, right? But a table of numbers, while accurate, doesn't tell us about any stories. To understand the market, we need to see it. Today is all about visualization. We're going to create our first pie chart, calculate our very first technical indicator called simple moving average, which is called SMA. Plot everything together to turn our raw data into real actionable insight. Okay, it's time to bring this data to life. Let's get started. Okay, so environment, setup, and data download. Rerun the episode 2 code in Google Colab. I'm gonna pull it out for you. You remember these codes? PIP install yfinance. Import yfinance as YF. This is convention. Import pandas as PD. This is another convention for data scientists in the world. Okay. Ticker Apple AAPL. You gotta remember this is just common sense, right? So I put this Apple stock in AAPL underbar df, the variable. yf.download, the ticker, which is Apple, start from 2022, January 1st, and will be, I would say, just 23rd. Okay, so we got those data. Let me just rerun. Shift enter, it should work again. Shift enter, enter, and another enter, and just wait for a moment. Okay, should work. There we go. We got another data right now. So Apple's daily price from close, high, low, open, volume. OH, open price, OH, LCV. Those are the ones that usually quant traders called OH, LCV data. Okay. So from now, I'm going to move on. Today, I'm going to import another package called matplot library, which is import matplotlib dot pyplot as PLT. This is another convention you gotta remember, okay? If you go to school, like a data science master's degree course, you will learn all of these. But I'm just giving you all free, right? The shift enter. It will just quickly import, okay? Now, for the fun part, plotting the closing price is incredibly easy with this package, okay? We just select the close column from our data frame called dot plot method. So I'm gonna write the footnote first. Plot the closing price, I would call AAPL underbar DF, the close, right? Close dot plot, which is figure size. You gotta set up the figure size of, I would say, 14, 7. It decides the size of the actual visualization, okay? So next, I'm gonna add a title and labels for clarity. plt.title, you set it up, just Apple closing price from the history, whatever. Okay, I set the title. I'm gonna put some label on x-axis, okay, which is data, and use write it down like a plt.y label this time, which is going to be our price in USD dollar. And plt, we're gonna draw some grid, which is true. You can just ignore this part, but just follow with me. And plt, always we gotta see it, so plt.show, and let's run it. Shift enter. You remember? There we go. This is awesome chart from 2022 January. We got approximately 170 something, 9 or 8. It moves around, right? Up and down, up and down, and up and down, and up and down. If you see this chart, you're very successful right now. And just like that, we have a price chart here. Instantly, we can see the major uptrends, the downturns, as I mentioned, and the overall journey of the stock since 2020. This is the first and most fundamental step of technical analysis. Now you became just greatest quant. That's so cool. So let me move on. The price chart is great, right? So yeah, I mean the page 3, we already covered this. You just created your first price chart, right? Let's move on to next, which is the understanding the SMA, simple moving averages. Okay, so yeah, to clarify this, the answer, one of the most famous indicators in the world in all of finance area or finance field, the simple moving average, which is called SMA. The concept is very simple. A 20-day SMA is just the average closing price, not the open, the closing price over the last 20 days, okay? As we move to the next day, we drop the oldest day and add the newest one. So the average moves, actually it moves along the price, okay? So its purpose is to filter out the short-term noise and give us a smoother representation of the trend. We are looking for the trend in the chart, okay? Luckily, we don't need to calculate this by hand. Pandas will work for you. Panda will work for you. So we will calculate two common SMAs, 20-day and 50-day for the medium trend, okay? So we're gonna use the rolling method which is the key. So I'm gonna write the code here. Just follow with me. AAPL underbar DF tab and SMA underbar 20. We define this as AAPL underbar DF, the close price dot rolling. This is new, okay? Rolling, and window set it as a 20. Dot, which is a moving average. You don't forget the average part. So in Python code we use the mean, okay? What about the other one, like 50 days? You change this to 50 and 50, correct? Now let's see how it looks like. Print AAPL underbar DF dot tail. Let's see, we got these two price points, right? So let's visualize this. So to make it shorter, I'm gonna just copy and paste the code that I already made it here. As you see, the figure size 14 by 7, close 20, 50 SMAs, and you can definitely set up the line styles here. Alpha, you can just ignore these parts, but yeah, and then set it up the title, X label, Y label, legends, grid, and then finally show. Let me rerun it here. There we go. You see this beautiful chart here? 20 days in orange lines, like these moves. 50-day SMA is green line. The actual price of Apple is the blue line, as you see here. So beautiful, right? Now that is insightful chart, I would call. The solid blue line is the actual price, right? Now here's a little preview of where this is all going right now. Quants look for signals. Let me repeat this. Quants look for signals. One of the most classic signals is a moving average crossover, okay? When the short-term SMA, or 20-day here, crosses over the longer-term SMA, which is 50-day in our case, it's often considered a bullish signal. A sign trend is gaining upward momentum, okay? This is called the golden cross. Golden cross. You see the golden cross area? This is not the golden. This is like that cross. But here you see the golden cross. You see another golden cross. There we go. So let me quickly wrap up. We already got this. Crossovers. So conclusion. Yeah, that was quick. By the way, let's quickly recap. In this episode, you learned how to visualize raw data using Matplotlib library, Matplotlib. Understand, calculate, and add simple moving averages in 20 and 50 days to your data using pandas. Combine everything into a powerful, multi-layered chart to analyze trends and identify potential signals. You've officially moved from just handling data to actually analyzing it. You became an analyst. That's so cool. This is a huge milestone. So, We have these golden cross and death cross signals, but do they actually work? Would you have made money trading them? Like, the only way to find out is to test them, okay? So in our next episode, you gotta remember, we will use these exact crossover signals to build our very first trading strategy from scratch. Then we will backtest it. We call it backtesting. The simulating our trades and historical data to see how it would have performed. That's when we find out if our idea has an edge. The traders all calling them as edge, okay? I really hope you enjoyed turning that data into a story. All the code from today's video will be linked in the description below. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.